Hello and welcome back to That's Joy the podcast. I'm very excited today, and you know what? It just might be today's joyful noise. It's a new month. October is here, which is absolutely wild. I just did my calendar that I do every single month a couple days ago when this releases, and there's other big news. There's a visual component now to That's Joy the podcast, and honestly, I have my boyfriend Jonathan to thank because he has these fire Sony cameras that I have been so graciously blessed with, and your girl is publishing on YouTube. I know, this has been a long time coming, and maybe you're someone who you're like, I don't even watch YouTube, Cece, this doesn't apply to me. Okay, well, maybe it applies to your mom, or your neighbor, or your sister, or a friend who loves the visual aspect to things. I know that there are some times where I'm like, I just want a podcast playing on the TV, like, in the background while I'm cleaning or while I'm working on something that doesn't feel like I need a ton of brain power. You know what I mean. Anyways, we're here. Hello YouTube. Just doing a wave to the camera here. Man, interesting to kind of like be looking at the camera while also looking at my little editing computer software over here, while also looking at my show notes on the iPad right here. We're juggling a bit, and we're gonna dive in. So the joyful noise of today, and so if you are new around here, then you might not know that we love kicking off every episode with a little joyful noise. Now, joyful noise is our version of good news. What are the good things that are happening in the world? Let's highlight just more of that. And I know mine might seem a little bit smaller today, that there's video now for all things That's Joy, but actually that's a big thing for a brand. So we're gonna celebrate that today, and we're gonna share it with a friend that loves video aspects. But hey, listen, if you have a story that's impactful, if you've listened to previous episodes, you know that I love sharing miraculous stories. I think that's my probably favorite part of That's Joy segments, joyful noise segments, I guess I should say, is hearing about those miraculous stories and sharing them with y'all. So if you have more of them, my goodness, I'd love to hear what your joyful noise is. You can quite literally text me the story or DM me on Instagram, whatever is easier for you. But get that story into my hands so that I can read it off and share it with all of our friends who continue to tune in every week, which that in itself, I just continue to be so grateful for. So thank you for being here. Thank you for clicking play, as always. Thank you for kicking play on there. And man, let's just double check that our audio is working over here. One moment. Oh, yes. Okay, we are in business, y'all. It's working to the right. It is working to the left over here. And we're gonna kick off today's episode. So today's episode is, as you read somewhere along the lines in the title, it's all about healthy girl habits. My goal in today's episode is to make it a short one. Again, y'all love the fiery under 30 minutes or less, so wanting to definitely make sure that we keep that momentum going. But why healthy girl habits? And are you actually going to share with me, Cece, everything that I need to know? Well, if I shared everything, we'd be here for a lot longer than 30 minutes, right? So on this episode, I'm going to do my very best to share with you as much as I can with things that have actually helped me and that I actually do every day. If not, I have my moments where I'm imperfect for a couple days, I'm on vacation, different things like that. Life happens, but for the most part, I live in the 80% I'm doing this, maybe 10 to 20% I'm not doing it. But these things, these healthy girl habits will quite literally, I believe, impact your life, change your life, and allow you to grow closer to that person that God is calling you to be. And I think I read a quote the other day that shared, work like it depends on you, pray like it depends on God. I love that so much because I think as Christians, we could be a bit timid when it comes to working hard or actually doing the do. We find ourselves sometimes just sitting so far back, leaning back in the recliner chair. Praise God, I don't have one of those because I would be too comfortable. That's a word for somebody. But we find ourselves in the recliner chair with our faith and saying, all right, God, you just let me know when that's going to happen. I'm just going to be right here. I'm just going to wait for my husband right here, right? But not actually do the do to be the wife that your husband needs you to be one day, right? And maybe that's someone who's longing for a relationship. But no matter what area of life you're looking to seek growth in, friends, whether that is fitness, the romantic relationships, right? Thinking about the wheel of life in finance, in work, whatever aspect of the wheel of life we are thinking about, there's work for you to do. And so these things that I do every single day is just a fraction of the work that I put in, and have quite literally at this point automated my body and my mind and my soul to be in alignment with that person that I know God's calling me to be. And so I want to kick it off by just explaining what my morning routine kind of looks like. So I always like to say that my morning routine actually starts at night, and it starts with my Hatch alarm clock. I've shared this so many times on several episodes, but I sleep with this alarm clock that automates different time blocks with different sounds and different lighting that help me create a habit of winding down. And so instead of scrolling to bed, because guess what? For the longest time, I'm here to admit that I was that girl who would scroll on TikTok for what felt like just 15 minutes. That would turn into just 30 minutes. That would turn into 45 minutes of scrolling, sometimes longer, not often longer. But y'all, I'm honest hour here. Can we pull up a seat and say, you know what? I'm gonna be honest today. I was that girl who would scroll to bed, and I hated that habit so much. And so in order for me to break that habit off and be that healthier version of myself, I knew this is a toxic trait. This is not healthy. This is not good for my mind. I know that for sure. And then there's actually other scientific things that have been proven that aren't good for other aspects of your health as well. So if that's you, I'm not pointing at you. I'm just kind of nudging you to step into this direction of, you know what, we're gonna break off that habit. And so I have this Hatch alarm now because in order to replace a habit, you have to have a new one, right? And so now I have this alarm clock. I click the button once on top. It signals me to read for 20 minutes, and then it transitions to 10 minutes of winding down, where I like to think about what I'm grateful for, pray, or just shut my eyes and just be. Like, those are my 10 minutes, y'all, to literally, at the end of the day, if I didn't get to do that at all that day, I just be still. Be still. And sometimes we need to just do that. And so when I do that, and when I get to bed at a decent hour, that sets me up for success for my morning routine. So my morning routine, I think it's quite simple now because, again, I've just started off with doing one thing. Then the following week added on another thing. Then on the following week added another. And a year and a half, 2 to 3 years later, I'm turning around and I'm recognizing how much I have built all of these habits, and it feels so automatic now, but really there was a moment where it didn't feel automatic. And so if that's you and you're like, oh my gosh, she's about to talk about so many different things, I don't even do one of those things, so forget it. I am analysis paralysis now, and I'm not going to do anything at all because I can't do everything. Friends, everything that I'm sharing, choose one thing to focus on and then do that thing well. And then the next week, tack on another. So my mornings, when my alarm goes off, I actually sleep now with my phone outside of my bedroom. It's back here, now that y'all can see it, next to the coffee. And I have sliding doors because I live in a studio apartment. And so I will have my Hatch alarm clock go off, and then I'll get up and I'll put a backup alarm on my phone so that if I don't get up, because sometimes this happens on the hatch, where I'm like, oh man, it's been a morning, I'm gonna give myself a beat, my iPhone alarm goes off, and it's so annoying that I can't help but get up and turn it off. This way, I'm already out of bed. And that's half the struggle of a morning routine, let's just be real for a second, is getting out of bed. And so once I get out of bed, turn off that alarm, I'll go back into my room and make my bed. Making your bed is the first win that you can do in your day. There's actually a book called Make Your Bed, I believe, but y'all, this is such a powerful thing to not break a promise to yourself. When we're keeping those micro promises to ourselves, we're telling ourselves mentally the rest of the day that we are winners. We can accomplish things. We go into the rest of our day with another mindset. And I know it might seem small, but it's one of those things that are small that amount to being so much bigger. So 1, make your bed. 2, I wear glasses. I'm actually a -8 and a -7.5 with my contacts. And so yeah, your girl's blind. So I go to the bathroom, I put on my contacts, I usually put up my hair because it's Hot Mess Express, and then I'll go into my kitchen right here behind me and make a cup of coffee. I can't tell you how much joy this little brown cup brings me, but my goodness, I am loving right now, by the way, Chobani's pumpkin spice creamer. Game changer. It's so stinking good. Y'all have to try it. I've been sleeping on Chobani creamers, but anyways, I've been adding that to my Phil's coffee. Shout out to all my Bay Area, California people who get to have Phil's all the time, but I always pick up a bag of beans. My best friend Taylor actually bought me a bag of beans from San Diego, and I have several coffee beans up there now, and so I've been doing drip coffee lately, and I have been loving it. And so I'll make my cup of coffee in the morning, and then after that, I will grab these 3 things that you see right here. Sometimes there'll be another book on top of it, but basically it's my Bible, my journal, a devotional, and possibly a book that I'm reading. Me and my boyfriend just finished a book, so I don't have a current book on this stack right now, but these 3 things is what I will bring to the couch with my coffee, with my water, and I will try to sit there for at least 20 minutes. Sometimes if I wake up earlier, or if I find myself in the prime of Cece's morning routine, I'll allocate even up to an hour to sit here and read and journal. And honestly, an hour feels like the best amount of time because I feel so filled after I've done reading in quiet time and Devo and Bible reading for an hour. I know that might sound crazy, but once you get to a place where you're diving in more, I think that love continues to grow. You don't look at the time like, oh my gosh, that's 1 hour. It actually shifts in your heart, and you're just like, man, if I could sit here all day and be at the feet of Jesus, I want to run there. And y'all, I'm saying this right now too, just in full transparency, in a seat where I haven't had a lot of hour mornings lately. And there's no shame in that, because I think that it comes in seasons with our relationships with God, just like there's no guilt and shame, you know what I mean? Like, I think that there are moments where we're able to call our parents every single day, and then there are busier moments where life happens, work gets crazy, seasons gets crazy, and you're calling twice a week, 3 times a week. Would I want to talk to my parents every single day? Of course I want to do that, because I live miles and miles away from them. But understanding and having the grace for yourself and for the other that, hey, there's seasons. And so there's that give and that take, but I know that if I'm not touching this stack every single day, I already know that my day is not going to be as, I don't want to say as grand, but I guess it's more so my eyes and the lens of which I am looking through won't be the sharpest. won't be the exact corrective lens that I need. And I know that to be true because I've been doing this now for over, I want to say 3 years, closer to 4 years of doing this practice. And I've had days and sometimes weeks where I haven't had this stack in my hands. And I've realized that the lens that I'm looking through is not the lens of one who would live like Jesus. And so therefore what? I'm more tempted. I'm quicker to anger. I'm quicker to judge. I'm quicker to have a lack of patience and be short with strangers and loved ones. Like, I know that when I'm not putting this first and quite literally like eating this first, seeking this first, all of the rest of the things that happen in that day are affected and shake out to be not the best. And so prioritizing this in my day is essential. Again, don't do it every single day, even today, but I try my best to. The second thing that I'll do after this is quickly change into workout clothes. And right now I'm doing, just so that I explain my workouts, I really want this to be tactical too with y'all. So right now I am hitting 140 grams of protein per day, and my boyfriend is a personal trainer and nutrition coach. Right now he's focusing on building his online nutrition coach business. He recently released a podcast of his own called Health Minds. Y'all should go subscribe and tune in. Tons of value for what these next 3 minutes of me sharing is going to be. I learned so much from him. I continue to learn so much from him. But right now I'm doing 140 grams worth of protein, and then my carbs and fats are kind of fluctuating. So I have them down a bit right now for the next couple weeks, but that is what I'm doing. I also, as far as water goes, try to drink half my body weight in ounces. So right now I'm about at 3 of these at least, which is 40 ounces of my Stanley small cup. And so that's how much water I drink per day. And then when it comes to moving my body, I do 3 workout classes at Hotbox, which is a strength and somewhat conditioning class. And I love that so much because it works on upper body and lower body every class. It kind of blocks it off by chunks. So there'll always be an upper body portion, a lower body portion, and then a finisher of some sort. And so I'll do that 3 times a week. And then I used to only do Peloton or run/walk twice a week. But as of right now, I'm upticking that to 3 times a week. So therefore, we have 3 workout classes per week and 3 cardio movements per week and 1 rest day. And I try to have that rest day be Sundays. So that is my current workout routine. So after I do my quiet time, I go work out, I come back home after my workout of some sort and get ready for the day, because when you get ready, you just perform better in your work, okay? Some of y'all, you just need to put on some mascara, not for the world, but for you. Like, when you get ready, there is a shift that happens. I know this to be true because I know in the moments where I don't get ready how much it creates this sluggish mindset into all of the work that I'm doing that day. So ladies, choose to get ready. I know it's not always the best, but even if I'm doing a workout outfit, y'all, I'll try a little. You know what I mean? Sometimes we need to just do that, okay? Especially Monday through Friday, so that we can be excellent in our work. Okay, after I get ready for the day, then I head to the kitchen again to make a high protein breakfast. And one of my go-to breakfast options right now is actually Greek yogurt mixed with a little bit of protein powder, topped with berries, usually blueberries and strawberries. And then my quote-unquote granola that I've been using is Magic Spoon cereal. It is so good. I'm currently stuck on the chocolate and the pumpkin spice flavors. So fire. The fruity flavor too tastes pretty close to Fruit by the Loops. I used to love those growing up. Those were fire. So that's my go-to breakfast. And then after that, I'll head to work. So if I'm working from home, I'll go to my desk right here with another cup of coffee usually. And I'll try to do 1 decaf per day depending on the season. It's a wild season, so we're doing 2 cups, okay? Don't judge me later, or do you, or I'll work from a coffee shop. So if I'm not working from here, I'll start walking to a coffee shop around 8:30, 8:40. So that is my morning routine in a nutshell. And I'm telling you, your morning routine doesn't have to look exactly like mine. In fact, I hope that you ebb and flow to create something of your own that you are proud of. Because friends, when we master our mornings, I think we take on the day with a storm. We take on the day with a new mindset and fresh eyes and the clearest perspective when we master our morning routines. If, by the way, you have not downloaded my free PDF that's called Master Your Morning Routine, when you sign up for the Joy Corner, which is my new weekly newsletter, I'll actually email you a free downloadable so that you can help track your morning routines. I did a practice just like this to spark my morning routine to be what it is today. So don't think that you're going to listen to one episode and then boom, all of a sudden your morning routine is mastered. I wish that was the case, but it's not. It's going to take effort. It's going to take some hard work, right? But it's going to be worth it. Because you're going to look back come 6 months from now. You're going to look back come 1 year from now, 2 years from now, and not even recognize the girl who used to scroll to bed. Some go-to snack ideas that I just want to list off for y'all quickly, because I put up a little poll on my Instagram. If you're not following me on Insta, you should do that, because I put these little polls up for podcast suggestions, and so many of y'all were like, health habits, snack ideas, just applicable things that I haven't shared on an episode in a while. So some of my go-to snacks that I have are fruit, like fresh fruit. You love every berry. We also recently put grapes in the freezer, the cotton candy ones, fire, from Trader Joe's. I love bananas with peanut butter or cinnamon. I recently just put pumpkin spice seasoning on my banana with honey. Holy guac, so good. Rice cake everything is another good option. There's these rice cake cheddar chips that I love for a savory treat. There's salted caramel ones that are thin, cocoa crunch ones that are delicious, or the giant chocolate regular ones. Sometimes I'll slap some peanut butter on there. I'll get the plain rice cakes and put jam on there and peanut butter and fresh fruit on top of it. I mean, you could get so creative with this. Another snack that I love are Quest chips. They're 20 grams of protein. Wish this was sponsored, not yet. Protein bars that I love are Think, the ones from Trader Joe's, barbells. I'm loving Power Crunch bars. One bars are great. All those are such great options. And then if you're feeling a little treat moment, right now at Trader Joe's, I am loving the cashew covered cashews, the almond butter covered almonds, and the mini pretzels. They used to have the ube ones. Sadly, they haven't restocked. If you don't know what ube is, look it up. It's a Filipino delight that you will not regret trying. But right now they have the pumpkin spice mini pretzels. You guys, they're so good. I am basic and I'm loving everything pumpkin spice right now. So that is currently like what's on my snack rotation. But here's the deal. Mastering your morning routine, fueling your body with things that will nourish your body are all just going to bless you. And here's the thing about our health and just how it affects our faith. Y'all, our health affects our faith. And I know this to be true because I felt so much of it in my own walk with the Lord. But I think that when we're moving different, we end up feeling different. We end up thinking different. And we end up loving different. And the greatest command of all that I always share, right, is to love God and love one another. And so my hope in harnessing in our small things, the day-to-day things that we can control. Y'all, we can't control what happens to us when we step out there. We can't control what the world does to us, but we can control what happens in here. the decisions that we make in here, and then how that changes our heart posture to then go out there, to love out there, no matter how out there treats you. It goes hand in hand. And so I want us to make sure that we're being the people who take control of what we can control and do the hard work, right? It doesn't get easier, I like to say. You get stronger though. It feels easier because you're getting stronger at all these things. And then you'll turn around and not even fully recognize who you've become in the best way. And there's actually, Natalie Grant shared this recently at a worship service, but she talked about how much worship actually changes our stress and cortisol levels. When we place our hands above our heads, it's a posture of worship, right? But actually, chemically, in our brains, it lowers stress. Chemically, in our brains, it lowers cortisol levels. So when we're going like this, it's not just for fun. It's not just to be a part of everybody else in the church doing this thing, but it's so much bigger than that. It's worshiping our mighty God, right? The creator of heaven and earth. Like, we're worshiping him and also knowing that that very act is helping us too. And why? Because he designed it that way. I think the body is so cool, and being a public health degree major, someone who majored in that, I still have this next level appreciation for our bodies and what they're capable of, and just how detailed the Lord is when he chose to knit us together in our mother's womb and bring humans to life, like bring us to life. There was such intentionality behind it, and you see that in how miraculous our bodies are. Like, it's incredible, right? And so if we're not prioritizing our health and how we're showing up in these bodies every single day, how do we expect to have a stronger relationship with him? How do we expect to have a stronger faith in him and with him? I just believe and will stand firm on the rock that knows that it goes hand in hand. Choose to show up for yourself in this next season. It's a new season. Fall's here. There's 3 months left in the year. If that is not wild, I don't know what is, y'all. I think there's less than 100 days till Christmas. Let's ask Siri. How many days until Christmas, Siri? 87 days till when I'm filming this. That's cray-cray, okay? That means January 1 is less than 100 days away. Don't be the person that waits for January 1. Be the person that decides that I am going to do one of the things that Cece has shared on today's podcast episode and do it really, really well this week. And then next week, after I nail that, I'm going to tack on one more. And then the following, I'm going to tack on one more. And guess what? 12 weeks from now, you won't even believe how much progress you've made in 3 months. Because guess what? A lot can happen in 3 months if you choose now. Friends, if there's a certain part of this episode that you loved, I'd love to know what that is. Shoot me a text to 615-813-4813. It's really me on the other side. I'd love to know what you want me to go off on maybe part 2 of this episode, if this is intriguing to y'all, if you are interested in this at all. And you can follow me on social at ccalbonero, and you can follow That's Joy the Podcast on there as well. If you've not joined the Joy Corner, you can subscribe to our weekly newsletter using the link in the show notes below. And there are only a few That's Joy crew crew necks love. So go grab that. Friends, if you've not yet taken the time to subscribe, rate, or leave a review for That's Joy, you can do that on Apple or Spotify. When you do it on Apple, you can write a little blurb, and I quite literally feel like I am getting snail mail from y'all. Like, it is such a joy to read your responses to how That's Joy is impacting you. So thank you for going the extra mile and doing that. And on Spotify, you can just drop a 5 stars. Right now we hit 1K, which is so sweet. And I'm like, let's make it 2. There's over 2,000 of you who click play on every episode. So if you haven't done either or of those, it'd mean the world if you can do that too. And friends, I'll never leave an episode without saying, if you have even the smallest desire to meet the creator of the universe, or if you've already been saved but you're not really free, I want to invite you to sit at the table of plenty with me and so many others. I'm telling you, there's abundance here. There's an overflow here, and there's so much joy here. I'm here to tell you that God is for you. All you have to do is invite him into your heart right now. He's waiting for you. He wants to meet with you. And friend, I'm so proud of you. If you just made this decision, I'd love to know you. Shoot me a text to that number in the show notes so I could pray for you. I love you. God loves you. And until next time, I'll talk to y'all next time. Thank you so much for being here.